One diss track, 5 minutes, and hip-hop was never the same. The year is 2001. New York City is the center of the rap universe. Two men stand at the top, but in this game, there can only be one king. What you're about to hear is the story of the greatest beef in hip-hop history. Not just a rap battle, a war for legacy, for respect, for the soul of New York itself. This is the story of Nas versus Jay-Z. To understand the war, you have to understand the warriors. Nasir Jones grew up in the Queensbridge Houses, the largest public housing project in North America, a world built on concrete and ambition. In 1994, he stepped onto the scene with Illmatic, 9 tracks, 39 minutes, and rewrote what rap could be. Critics called it a masterpiece. The streets agreed. Overnight, Nas became the voice of a generation. Meanwhile, Sean Corey Carter was doing the impossible. From the Marcy houses in Brooklyn, Jay-Z built himself into a business. No major label deal at first, just hustle, a handshake, and reasonable doubt in 1996. The album didn't sell millions right away, but the people who heard it, they knew. This man was different. By the late 90s, New York had two kings, and that was one too many. The first shots weren't fired on records. They were fired in conversations, in interviews, in the way each man carried himself on the scene. Hip-hop has always run on hierarchy. Who's the best? Who moved the most units? Who built the biggest empire? These aren't just rap questions. They're survival questions. Jay-Z was moving. Volume 2, Volume 3. The blueprint was on its way. Each album more successful than the last. Rockefeller Records was becoming a dynasty. Nas, meanwhile, was rebuilding. After Illmatic, the follow-ups were good, but nothing matched the lightning of that debut. The streets still loved him, but the industry, they were starting to move on. And then the comments started. Subtle jabs and lyrics, shout-outs that weren't really shout-outs. Radio interviews where words were chosen carefully, but not carefully enough. Both men knew what was coming. The fans could feel it. The producers could feel it. All it needed was a spark. The spark came on August 20th, 2001. Jay-Z released Takeover. Over a Kanye West-produced beat, Jay-Z went to war. He dismantled Nas's catalog, questioned his work ethic, and suggested that Illmatic was a one-album wonder. The lines were surgical, calculated, cold. Hip-hop stopped breathing. But Nas wasn't done. In what some say was a single session, Ether arrived. If Takeover was a scalpel, Ether was a sledgehammer. Nas attacked Jay-Z's authenticity, his persona, his business moves, his place in history. The track opened with a soul sample and a declaration of war, and it never let up. The title referenced a chemical that strips everything away. That's exactly what Nas tried to do. The difference between the two tracks wasn't just lyrical skill, it was emotion. Takeover was calculated. Ether felt personal, felt necessary. Like Nas had been holding every grievance, every slight, every moment of disrespect, and unloaded them all at once. The culture took note. Hip-hop doesn't have referees. The winner is decided by the people, and the people gave it to Nas. Polls on The Source, on Hot 97, on street corners from Harlem to Compton, the same answer came back. Ether had won. The word even entered the language. To be ethered became hip-hop shorthand for being destroyed in a battle. But here's what's complicated. Jay-Z didn't fall. He released the blueprint a few weeks later and it sold 500,000 copies in its first week. Critically, it was a masterpiece. Commercially, it was a statement. So while Nas may have won the battle on points, Jay-Z was winning the war in the marketplace. And Nas? Ether reignited him. His next album, God's Son, was his most personal work since Illmatic. He was hungry again, focused. The beef had reminded him, and the world, what he was capable of. Two men, both elevated by the conflict, neither destroyed by it. 25 years later, people still debate it. Was it Nas? Was it JayZ? Would Ether hit the same without Takeover? Would Takeover have mattered without Nas? The beef lives on because it captured something real. The tension between art and commerce, between legacy and ambition, between who you were and who you're trying to become. It influenced every rap beef that came after. It raised the bar. It reminded the world that hip-hop, at its highest level, is a conversation where the stakes are everything. JayZ and Nas have since moved past it. They've shared stages, given each other respect. The war ended. But the music is forever. So who really won? Drop it in the comments. The debate isn't over.